Hey everyone, my name is Spencer Cowley here for BYVI, and this is a startup story about Truly Financial. You'll hear from Sandeep Todi, co-founder and chief business officer of Truly Financial, who will explain his team's all-in-one banking solution for small businesses. Let's get started.
Hey Spencer,
Hey Sandeep, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for making time for this. So I've been a startup founder for a few years now. Previously, I built financial and payroll software largely for smaller businesses. A few years ago, I and my co-founder, we launched Remitter, which is a B2B payments service built for Canada. And by virtue of all of this, I've been very close to understanding how SMBs function and what is unique about them, which is not which is not being served or met by existing technology. So all along, I've really been very close to building software for SMBs and primarily in the financial space. So that's kind of my background.
The life of a small business owner is often like a trip down a long, winding road. Except, at every other bend, the trip screeches to a halt as the car pulls in for gas, or the noisy kids in the backseat request snacks, or a tire goes flat. It turns out, flat tires tend to follow when you keep launching your car off of ramps to jump through some unexpected hoops in your path. The SMB's journey can be a hectic one. One major factor in why startup founders and other owners of SMBs constantly work under pressure is the financial stress of the endeavor. For startups especially, the personal investment combined with the struggle to grow and earn both sales and funding makes life a juggle. One of the core contributors of financial stress on businesses in general, but especially SMBs, is the drawback of traditional banking.
On the one hand, if you look at history, smaller businesses have always been saddled with very high banking costs, and that is something that we want to change, right? I mean, imagine if you go to a traditional bank and you need to send a wire transfer, you have to walk down to the branch, fill out a form, and then it takes anything between like 5 to 10 days for the money to reach the other person. In fact, in the last 40 years, nothing has changed. Wire transfers continue to be slow, expensive, and cumbersome. That's where we need to bring down the cost and keep it as affordable as possible.
Big banks are not built for small, modern, global businesses because these businesses are built beyond the capabilities of big banks. That's why Sandeep Todi and his team at Fintech startup Truly Financial want to redefine what it means to bank for small business. A unique player in the neobank scene, Truly Financial affordably offers a complete suite of financial services needed by small businesses, all within a single platform. Todi believes that Truly Financial will allow small business owners to focus less on navigating through fragmented financial issues and focus more on navigating the future of their businesses.
Back in 2020, we realized that businesses need more than just payments. And banking, as we know it, with the large banks, is very fragmented. So, this means that they have to use one bank for their day-to-day business banking. They probably use another service for payments, like, if they need to do a lot of EFT payments or wires. And they probably use another, third-party service for spend management, for teams and so on. Basically, what this means is if you think about a small business owner like a startup or an e-commerce seller or maybe a digital marketing agency, imagine the number of tools that they have to deal with to just run their business on a day-to-day basis, right? It's fragmented, and like I like to call it, the business owner's job is to run the business, not to do the plumbing on the financial services. Now, unfortunately, banks don't offer the entire suite of services, and neither do payment companies offer the entire suite of services. Especially, payment companies do not offer banking. So this has led to a situation where these businesses have to really kind of move money from, let's say, one bank account to another just to be able to make a payment or to receive an invoice payment and so on.
As technology has advanced and fintech efforts have grown in recent years, banking is one industry that has failed to adapt and adopt. Heavy regulation, particularly after the economic crisis of 2008, and aging technological foundations have made it incredibly difficult for most established financial institutions to make the massive changes needed to reach the modern age. Not only that, but the rise in fintech ventures disrupting the field has led to a lack of interested talent flocking to traditional banks. While banks fall behind, SMBs continue to innovate and emphasize nimbleness, adopting new technologies as they emerge. The world is more connected than ever, and remote work rarely earns a questioning glance after almost 3 years in a global pandemic. This means that teams are stretching across time zones, geographies, and currencies. Plus, the demand for faster payments is higher than ever, as the PayPals and Venmos of the world help their users easily and instantly transfer money for minimal fees. Though new services exist in the realm of fintech that support payments or money management or lending, very few companies offer the full package. This makes managing finances and time a true juggling act for SMB owners who need to utilize several different services. Todi and his co-founder, Kanchan Kumar, previously founded Remitter in 2016, a Canadian company built to enable faster, cheaper B2B payments online. In 2020, the founders began to work through an idea of how to go beyond payments and improve business banking overall.
So this really led to the idea of creating Truly Financial as a all-in-one banking service, which enables businesses to do everything on one single account instead of having to juggle between all of these different services. Which ultimately, at the end of the day, it means they lose time when they're trying to move money, and it's also at a higher cost because each service means that they're incurring additional cost for using that service. So this is what kind of led us to thinking about creating a new kind of a service, which I believe is one of its kind in North America today.
Truly Financial's complete suite of services includes a host of offerings that no other entity in the world is providing on a single platform. As founders themselves, Todi and Kumar recognize that SMBs work differently than large enterprises. The people behind these growing companies have long needed a change to the banking systems in place. This is why Truly Financial offers their customers a chance to bank simpler. Modern SMBs work differently with less resources, which is why they need to bank differently with greater rewards. The Truly Financial team believes that the best way to deliver on that philosophy is through their custom-built stack of services housed within a single streamlined platform, massively accessible to SMBs via a hyper-affordable pricing plan.
If I have an employee in Brazil or in France and they need to buy a laptop, they should be able to do it easily without them having to purchase it on their credit card locally. And then, corporate finance sitting in Seattle sends them money for like $2,000 to buy a laptop. Now, imagine how cumbersome that is. This is what we mean by global banking. If I am selling to customers in England, they should be able to pay me without me having to wait for 10 days to get that money into my bank account, or without me having to convert from British pounds to US dollars and then, paying an arm and a leg to convert that money. It costs about 3% to convert money through a traditional bank. That is 3% which is taken off your profits. This is what we mean by global banking.
2022 is shaping up to be a big year for the neobank, which officially launched in August of 2021. In the months since launch, Todi and his team have gained plenty of insights from their early adopters.
There's been great feedback, especially for customers who got remote teams, which means employees in several different countries across even the US and Canada. They've been finding a lot of value for this. With the Truly Financial account, it's not just the card, it's also banking. So they're able to receive payments from their customers directly into the bank account. They are also able to use that money to pay their suppliers and service providers or pay for Microsoft and AWS and Facebook. So they can do all of that with a single account.
Todi says Truly Financial will continue to grow its internal team and amp up its digital marketing efforts. But now the team knows it needs to continue to grow through new channels. One primary area of focus on Todi's mind is partnerships. Influencers, accounting firms, and software developers are all potential partners who could help more SMBs find a new way to bank. Todi has learned much in his years as a fintech startup founder. Among the many challenges that have arisen throughout his journey, it seems that the unexpected situations lent the greatest lessons. Most importantly, Todi feels that founders should strive to know their customers like members of their own team, especially in the early adopter stage. Establishing a more amicable and genuine rapport with customers will inevitably lead to greater insights and specific feedback. Plus, it will make them feel more valued and hopefully earn some loyalty.
Really speaking to customers regularly and learning from them as to what kind of problems are really critical for them, and seeing how do you kind of take a step back and not just build or solve for that problem, but really solve it at a strategic level and not just at a tactical level. So what that means is, for example, something as simple as shipping a physical Visa card to a remote employee. We thought it was the easiest thing in the world to do, right? Just put it into UPS and it's done. We did not realize that remote employees don't necessarily all speak English the same way that we do. So we had a customer who had an employee in Turkey, And it wasn't easy to get the employee in Turkey to start to understand the product and start using the Visa card for their expenses. So a lot of those kind of learnings can make a huge difference between what you think of back in your office versus what actually works in the real world.
Above all, though, Todi wants other founders to remember that starting and running a business is a journey, one that can be beautiful, stimulating, and filled with passion. While it's easy to get bogged down by the day to day chaos of the road, it's important to enjoy the scenery that surrounds the traffic.
I usually like to connect with other startup founders as well, learn from them, as well as share my experience if that's valuable. So please let's do connect. In terms of like building the company, it's a journey, and the more you can immerse yourself and enjoy the journey and not get stressed out by that, you will feel that you've done a good job. And my experience and advice also would be just enjoy the journey and enjoy the scenery as you go along with it. Take the scenic route, don't take the fast route, because when you take the fast route, you reach your destination, but you don't know what happened along the way. So that's it from me.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Sandeep. I really appreciate you taking the time today. It sounds like there's a lot going on for you guys. I'm really looking forward to hearing more about Truly Financial in the future.
My pleasure, Spencer. Thank you for having me.